How's the level at the moment? Yeah, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not peaking. All right, sweet. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to JL Murphy Reserve, where it's 5th versus 6th in NPL Victoria. Port Melbourne versus Hume City battling out for finals places, and this matchup always delivers goals. 18 goals in their last 5 meetings between these two sides. And Hume City have made 2 enforced changes from the team that went down late. 1-0 against South Melbourne last week. Harry Ascroft and Josh Bingham are suspended after both picking up their 5th bookings of the campaign. So 2 experienced players out. But when you've got Lloyd Isgrove and Josh O'Kane to bring in off the bench, it's an embarrassment of riches for David Chick. They can't come into the starting lineup, complementing Michael Weir, who's recently returned from the A-League with Newcastle Jets, returning to his former club, Hume City, for whom he made over 100 appearances before departing for the professional ranks. Massive mid-season recruit. Mark Otsheng continues at right back. Michael's younger brother, Lachlan Weir, continues at left back, with Tom Maricic in the heart of defence. Amir Abdallah, Josh Golevsky, Oscar Carlson and Fletcher McFarlane in the midfield. And Mikael Platt up top, supported by, of course, the Welsh superstar Lloyd Isgrove, who has 8 goals already this season, and most of them have been from outside the box. So keep an eye on his long-range shooting. He has an eye for the spectacular, to say the least. Jackson Riley, Umut Bozdoğan, Mehmet Oysal and Tyler Cooper continue on the pine for Hume City, with Marcus Aiello and Samuel Pisani coming in as substitutes. Port Melbourne unchanged from the side who secured a point away to Moreland City last week. A late equaliser scored by substitute Alec Bechvanovsky, the son of the greatest Victorian top-flight goalscorer in the post-war era, Sash Bechvanovsky. He's got some way to go to match his dad on 205 goals, but 1 down, 204 to go. He's on the bench today for Port Melbourne. Evan Marco Yanakis between the sticks. Alex Baker, Mako Maker and Nathan Hancock are the back 3, with Mark Latsis and Dan Edwards at wing-back. Owen Stokes and Charlie Leach hold down the midfield, with Andrew Mezzaruni, Emmanuel Peters and Jackson Courtney Perkins up top as the front 3. Ilya Shalamanov-Trenkov is the backup goalkeeper, with Dane Milovanovic, Atticus Gonzalez, Fraser Dunlop and Bechvanovsky as the substitutes. Lucas Burns drops out of the matchday squad, with young Jordan Gassam coming in. And curiously, even though it's a Port Melbourne home game, we've got Port wearing their away strip of all white, with Hume City in their home all red kit. Port Melbourne kicking from left to right of your screen. My name is Josh Parrish, and it's a delight to bring you the action today on behalf of Football Victoria and Sportscast. Hume City have the recent edge in these meetings. They demolished Port Melbourne 4-0 in their first meeting of the season. Goals from Amir Abdallah, Lloyd Isgrove, Harry Ascroft, who's not playing today, and a late penalty from Mikael Platt, rounding out the scoring. But Abdallah and Isgrove cutting in from the flanks and scoring spectacular goals has been the story of Hume City's season. You can see Fletcher McFarlane is having to deputise at centre-back today in the absence of Ascroft. Here goes Emmanuel Peters for Port Melbourne, trying to slip in Mezzaruni. Otsheng will take no chances. Maker. Shortly into midfield for Leach. It was Latsis who sprung back out to right wing back. Manny Peters. Charlie Leach. Patient build up and then a silly turnover. And it might allow Hume City to break. This is Isgrove. A bit of space to operate. Looks for Abdallah at the back post. His touch takes him away from goal. Abdallah. Cut back to Golevsky, and then the strike is blocked. Behind for the game's first corner. Amir Abdallah to take. Tom Maricic, the obvious target. 200-centimetre central defender. Instead, it's headed over the crossbar. Looked like Golevsky on the end of it. Yes, indeed, the man who won the corner, almost converting it. And a decent sight of goal. And an early chance goes begging for Hume City. Lockie Weir. Header from Edwards. Square to Stokes, who lost his footing, but it's still a nicely measured ball. And Michael Weir will have to play sweeper-keeper here. Very composed work. Isgrove, lovely little drag back. Lockie Weir. Good switch of play out to Abdallah. Now Ocheng in support, wearing the captain's armband today in the absence of Harry Ascroft and Josh Bingham. McFarlane. Neatly done by O'Kane. Ocheng sends one forward for Platt to contest. Port Melbourne able to defend that one and spring away through Maker and Latsis. Good pace to this contest early. Latsis turns on the afterburners. Great pace from Latsis to win a corner for the Sharks. It's going to be Dan Edwards, a master proponent of the dead ball, to swing it in with his left boot. Short corner will be retaken as there's bodies going to ground inside the 6-yard box. Ocheng involved in that scrap. Peters making a nuisance of himself in front of Michael Weir. Edwards will take the corner long this time. Into the near post and headed over. Not far away from Courtney Perkins. Isgrove ran out of room. He felt the ball was still within the field of play. Referees had a different view. In fact, there's a flag up for offside on the far side of the field. So he was coming back from an offside position, and still the discussion goes on between Andrew Memorakis and Lloyd Isgrove. So free kick taken for offside, rather. McFarlane. Long high ball, Mikael Platt will latch onto it. Felt he was pulled back by Nathan Hancock there. Now here goes Courtney Perkins. No way past Fletcher McFarlane. Maricic. Onto the chest of Isgrove. Lovely touch past Latsis, and here goes Mikael Platt. Latsis making up for losing the 50-50. Hume City howling for a back pass. David Chick is incredulous on the touchline. Would have been a brave call, and it wouldn't have been the first time that Hume City have benefited from an opposition back pass being picked up by the goalkeeper. I think all the way back to round one against Dandenong Thunder, with Lloyd Isgrove announcing himself from an indirect free kick. Now it's turned over straight to Peters, and the strike is unleashed by Mezzaruni. And Michael Weir needed a second attempt to gather it. Meanwhile, Latsis has gone down. There's an off-the-ball incident involving Latsis and Weir. Lockie Weir did seem to make intentional contact with Mark Latsis there. So that's one to watch. Two still exchanging words on the touchline as Latsis is allowed back on the field. Weir perhaps fortunate to escape without further sanction. Edwards. Stokes. Back to Hancock now. Maker. Weir steaming in there to clear the danger. Still the war of words continues between those two. Maker. All the way back to Marco Yanakis. And flag up against Mezzaruni, who's come back from an offside position. Weir. Ascrofts. That one's going to be picked off by Edwards. Courtney Perkins checking inside. Ochieng throws a step over, but Courtney Perkins wins the challenge. Hume ball. Well, there's a bit of spice in this one already. Maker, strong in the tackle against Isgrove. Here goes Peters. Twisting and turning and looking for an option. He finds one in Stokes. Baker lofts one towards Edwards, but it's a free header for Mark Ochieng. Here goes Amir Abdallah, a burst of pace around the outside. Abdallah for Platt. Holds his ground brilliantly there, Mikael Platt. And now Lockie Weir sizes up the shot. Sees his effort blocked and puts one into space for Lloyd Isgrove. But you could tell just by his body language there, Isgrove, that one had trickled over the byline. Well, you saw there just a hint of what makes Mikael Platt such a useful centre forward in build-up. Weir into Golevsky. Great run into the channel from Josh Golevsky. Clips it to the back post, looking for Platt. It's just overcooked. Ends up with Josh O'Kane. Now Abdallah, darting inside. Amir Abdallah twisting left and right. Finding Golevsky to shoot, and it just whistles past the near post. And Golevsky comes close to the game's opening goal for the second time this evening. Every time Amir Abdallah is involved, there's an air of expectation. He has been just so brilliant this season. His breakout year in NPL Victoria, after spells with Northcote and Heidelberg and a stint overseas in Eastern Europe, in Estonia to be precise. See Josh Golevsky just relishing the chance to push a little further forward in the absence of Josh Bingham. He is a real goal threat himself. Just one this season, but it was an important one. A last gasp equaliser against Heidelberg. This is Ocheng. Looking to arrow the killer ball into Isgrove. Instead, it's picked off by the Sharks' defence. Ocheng in a little late on Edwards, goes unpunished. And then Nathan Hancock. Well, he's trying to make the point there was an earlier infringement, but no doubting that was a foul from Hancock. In on Abdallah. Odd sartorial choice for Port Melbourne today. They're more used to sporting their traditional red and blue home kit, or failing that, very fetching black away number. Never seen this white kit before. Maybe an emergency to prevent a clash of colours with Hume. They've got a set piece to defend here. It's going to be Amir Abdallah. Flashes it towards Maricic and then Platt off the crossbar. Looked like it came off his knee. Mikael Platt desperately unlucky. Even Marko Yanakis could only stand and watch. Abdallah throws a step over. Goes to the byline. Tried to dart between two defenders, but that was asking a lot. Edwards stealing in front of Abdallah. Stokes. He's turned it over in a dangerous position, Stokes, and here goes Lloyd Isgrove! And never really got hold of the shot. Maybe he was trying to cut it across the box to Mikael Platt. Would have been very selfless of him if so, but we're accustomed to seeing much more ruthless finishing than that from Lloyd Isgrove. He had the step on his defender and just scuffed it with his left boot. Has to settle for a corner. It's been all Hume City in the last few minutes. To the back post and against the woodwork again. How close will Hume City come before they hit the back of the net? Big Tommy Maricic flying through the air and smashing against the crossbar. It was such a good delivery. And now it might fall for Carlson to strike, and he gets underneath it. Lloyd Isgrove, silver service to the back post. And you don't come much closer than that from Tom Maricic. Now Hume City win it back high up the park here. Mikael Platt. Not tied up and saw his pocket picked there from Stokes. Peters. Oh, Weir thundering into that tackle. And Emmanuel Peters rode it. And now he's got Latsis on the outside. And Mezzaruni in the middle can't make the telling contact. Fletcher McFarlane to the rescue for Hume City. That would have been smash and grab from the Sharks, who've been under the pump for the last 10 minutes. But they were away in a flash. Emmanuel Peters, just too strong. Now Dan Edwards has a short option in Leach. A packed penalty area to aim for. Michael Weir has to punch, doesn't get far. And then Maker rising for the header, and it's gathered. And Emmanuel Peters gives away a free kick for impeding the goalkeeper, who was trying to restart the game. This one's a powder keg. So much goalmouth action at both ends. Hume City have twice rattled the woodwork. And there's been some big blow-ups as well between players. Not to truly boil over just yet, but not far from it. Leach. Cushion touch for Latsis. Latsis around Weir. Cuts it back to Peters. And then Peters maybe overcooked it a touch for Mark Latsis, who could have done a lot more to keep that ball alive. He was trying to play a first-time pass and just rolled his studs over the top of it. Here goes Lloyd Isgrove, darting around. 1, 2, 3 challenges. What a run this is from Isgrove, taking on all comers. Needs support, and it comes in Abdallah. Amir Abdallah couldn't quite sidestep the challenge of Hancock. Isgrove nips in again. Now Isgrove's cross looking for Platt. And Marko Yanakis couldn't gather the ball. Mikael Platt in a heap now inside the 6-yard box. An incredible individual effort from Lloyd Isgrove, completely scything through the Port Melbourne backline. And a big collision between goalkeeper and striker. Yeah, Marko Yanakis came over the top and did win the ball. I think he's ended up with a knee in the guts there, Mark Otschenk, at the very least. Deary me, it's all happening here at JL Murphy tonight. Restarted through Weir. Mikhail Platt back to his feet, still clutching at his ribs. Maricic aiming for the back post. Edwards heads away. Only as far as Courtney Perkins, who had Otchang glued to his back, and coughs up a throw. Otchang. O'Kane goes back to McFarlane, and now Maricic sporting some strapping on that right knee there, and measures a switch to Woods Isgrove. Mark Latsis taking absolutely no chances and hoofing that onto the practice fields. Lockie Weir will come forward to take this throw. Across the box, and Edwards wins the header. Otchang. Abdallah. Taken down by Edwards, and that's an obvious free kick. Here goes Abdallah off the free kick. Low delivery is sent away from danger. Now chipped into a channel for Edwards to latch onto. Otchang charges down his pass down the line. Carlson. Isgrove and Abdallah have swapped flanks for the time being. McFarlane out to Weir. Here goes Latsis. On to Stokes. Owen Stokes with the strike. And it's well fielded by Michael Weir. One of Port Melbourne's best moves of the match. Golevsky skipping around, and a thundering challenge comes in from Alex Baker to clear the ball. Owen Stokes has been their primary goal threat. 4 goals in his last 4 games. The Irish midfielder. McFarlane for Carlson. Stokes steps into intercepts. There's a Rooney, now Leach into space for Peters. Here goes Emmanuel Peters. Around the outside of Weir, thunders it across the box, and no one can make the telling touch. Well, every time Manny Peters gets the ball, he's causing Hume City problems. It's largely been Hume on the attack. Melbourne have had a few openings of their own of late. Oh, look at this high press from Hume City. Really well played from Port Melbourne. Really coolly done. Maker. Maricic up to win the header, and then Weir pumps it forward. Maker will head back to his goalkeeper, Evan Marco Yanakis. Latzes. Courtney Perkins wants it early. Not enough angle on the ball in. Well, they do present a real transitional threat, Port Melbourne, and they can play through the lines very quickly if you do press them high. Maricic. Latzis. And well fielded by the goalkeeper. Hancock. Maricic in the way. Ball drops for Peters. Mezzaruni. Latzis went in late on Weir. Just clipped his ankles there. Maricic. McFarlane. Chiang. Here goes Abdallah. McFarlane now. Hume City trying to slow things down and be a bit more patient and deliberate with their build-up. This is Carlson. Back to O'Kane. Hume City have kept the ball now for an extended period. Just as I say that, curse of the commentator. They give it away, but Port Melbourne's structure holding firm. Hume City just taking the sting out of a few promising Port Melbourne attacks in the last 5 minutes. They've still largely dictated terms in the first half. Come by far the closer of the two teams to opening the scoring. Carlson back to Maricic. Chiang. Eastgrove wants to take it quickly. To say Hume haven't been quite as effective since the wingers have swapped flanks. Seemed as if they presented more threat with the inside out. Right footer on the left-hand side and vice versa. Of course, they could all change with Eastgrove and Abdallah seeing a bit more of the ball. Chiang. Here goes Edwards. Maricic steps in. Knocks the ball first time into the path of Weir. Lockie Weir out to Abdallah. Early delivery looking for Platt and then Eastgrove. And Hume City lead. And it's that man again, Lloyd Eastgrove. 9 goals already this season. What a signing he has been. And Hume City's 2 star men combine in spectacular fashion once again. Brilliant ball in from Abdallah. And the acrobatic diving header nestles in the bottom corner. No chance for Evan Marco Yanakis. And Hume City finally have their reward for so much promising attacking play in this first half. Weir. It's just beautiful shape on the delivery from Amir Abdallah. You can see Lloyd Eastgrove has gone back to the left now. Maker. Up to Lattis. Leach. Courtney Perkins. Mezzaruni. Marco Yanakis sends it long. Carlson sees it back to Maricic. Abdallah. Weir. That's a great ball out to Chiang. McFarlane. Mikael Platt has dropped very deep in build-up here. Hume City just gradually prompt and probe for an opening. Galevsky flicks it through. And here goes Eastgrove, motoring away from Latsis. Takes it infield, lays it off for Josh Galevsky. The 1-2 with Platt, and still Josh Galevsky. Champagne football from Hume City. Spectacular interplay there. Lloyd Isgrove to Josh Golevsky. The wall pass with Mikael Platt. And then the emphatic half volley into the bottom corner. Golevsky has his second goal of the year. And Hume City have a 2-goal lead at JL Murphy Reserve. Well, it all started from the goalkeeper, Michael Weir. His side-footed clip ball into Golevsky. A touch off the outside of the boot to slide it through the gap. Back to Isgrove, who took it in field. Beautiful reverse back into Golevsky, and then the number 10 did the rest. The sort of goal that coaches dream of on the training ground. Rarely, if ever, does it come off on the weekend. They've scored some spectacular individual goals this season, Hume City. But that was a team goal to savour. Maricic. McFarlane out to Weir. Port Melbourne have had their moments this evening, but they seem lost at the moment. Abdallah. Okay, now to Ocheng, and now here goes Mikael Platt. Abdallah back to Platt. The Sharks can't get a touch at the moment. Mesmerising passing into play. Carlson, Abdallah. Isgrove brought down, cynically so, and that will be the game's first booking for Owen Stokes. When Hume City are playing with this sort of confidence, there aren't many teams who can stop them. Isgrove, in swinger. Carlson. Courtney Perkins. Isgrove and Platt beavering away, trying to win it back for Hume. Away comes Leach for Port Melbourne. Gets it back off Stokes. Leach lost his footing. And now Golevsky comes in with the tackle and keeps it in field. Ocheng. Back out to O'Kane. Complete mastery over the football at the moment, Hume City. Weir. Platt. Went to ground looking for a free kick that never came. See, they've actually swapped their wing backs here, Port Melbourne, which is quite unusual. Maybe Edwards was having a better time dealing with his growth than Mark Latsis was. Abdallah. Taking on Baker. O'Kane has drifted wide in support. Isgrove. Gets it back off Lockie Weir. O'Kane. Now Ocheng. And Abdallah has some space to operate against Alex Baker. It's Amir Abdallah! And nearly another top corner special from the number 24. He's done that so many times this season. It's almost a reflex at this point. A quick shift inside. The whip around the ball with the instep. And you're accustomed to seeing the far post bulge. Courtney Perkins. Losing out to Mezzaruni was Carlson, and now Courtney Perkins again, couldn't keep it. Lovely first time layoff from Platts. Isgrove motoring away from Edwards. Inside to Platts. Weir. The board is up. 2 minutes to be added at the end of this first half. And Hume City have put on a clinic so far. Edwards. Mezzaruni run down by Carlson. It seems as if every time a Port Melbourne player takes an extra touch or dwells on the ball, it's nicked away from them in a flash. Now Abdallah, causing all sorts of havoc down the right. Into Platt, who couldn't keep it. Peters running off the shoulder, and I think he knew he was offside. Michael Weir asking for a time check. In no hurry. Long bomb from Weir out to the right flank. Taken down by Abdallah. Good slide from Latsis to dispossess him that time. Then Leach off O'Kane, and it's going to be a Sharks throw. Stokes. Leach into space for Edwards. And Port Melbourne claw one back before the break. They've been on the ropes for so much of this first half. But here goes Courtney Perkins. And now Manny Peters. His shot is charged down. Gets a second bite at this one. Manny Peters around the outside. And now Owen Stokes. The net was unguarded. But Lockie Weir stood in the way and preserves the clean sheet for Hume City. And now Andrew Memorakis brings the first half to a close. It's been a Hume City clinic so far. Mesmerising stuff. Lloyd Isgrove and Josh Golevsky with the goals. But it's been a consummate team performance. And they have dictated terms away from home against their near rivals, Port Melbourne. Trying to create some separation in fifth place and chase the forward pack with Heidelberg dropping points today. It does open a window for Hume City to climb back up into title contention. And if this performance is anything to go by, they are not out of the title race, not one bit. We'll take a short break here on the NPL Victoria live stream. Josh Parrish here on the mic, and it's been a delight so far. Scintillating football from Hume City. The halftime score, Port Melbourne Sharks 0, Hume City 2. working now.
Funny thing is, this has been working without a battery until...
Yeah, well maybe it's your phantom power that's not working on the camera, and therefore you need a battery in it.
If I check it to tell it, does it?
Where's it supposed to be on?
I think telly's just for more distance.
Yeah, probably have it on telly, yeah. Cool. Alright, well you can keep that back.
Oh, thanks so much for that.
That's alright.
Alright. Josh?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, get it.
I left someone in
I just smashed a mad Lugani there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JL Murphy. Round 17 NPL Victoria action, and the halftime score: Port Melbourne 0, Hume City 2. It's been a clinic in the first half from the visitors. Lloyd Isgrove's diving header, a sweet Amir Abdallah cross to open the scoring, and then just the ultimate team goal. You start from your goalkeeper. Scintillating interplay involving Galevsky and Isgrove and Platt, and Josh Galevsky burying second goal of the game. It could have been more in truth. And Hume City twice rattling the crossbar through Mikel Platt and Tom Maricic at 0-0. Port Melbourne have a mountain to climb now. Not only are they 2 goals down, they're being well and truly outplayed on their own patch. Had their moments in the first half, but for the most part have been under siege. And persisting with Dan Edwards and Mark Lattis on opposite sides to where they usually play. So a left-footed wing-back on the right-hand side and vice versa. Maybe Edwards and Lattis, with their stronger foot on the inside, will be able to deal better with Hume City's inside-out wingers who love to cut in and unleash long-range efforts at goal. Isgrove and Abdallah. Port Melbourne in the all-white kit. Courtney Perkins crosses straight into the arms of Michael Weir. He's just class at this level. One of the best keepers we've seen in NPL Victoria since the competition was rebranded. Queenslander. Over 100 appearances for Hume City before 3 seasons in the A-League with the Newcastle Jets, and now he's back home. What a mid-season recruit to pick up. This is Amir Abdallah. Laying up 2 defenders and laying it back for Carlson. Isgrove. Ochieng. No road through to Abdallah, so it's back to Josh O'Kane. Maricic. Lockie Weir. Shang will chase down that switch of play. McFarlane. Ocheng. Abdallah. Feint of the body. Almost around Baker. Just showed too much of the ball. Now that clearance is picked off by Carlson, and Isgrove slips it down the left for Mikael Platt. And well off target from the Englishman. Plenty of power behind it, but he's trying to arrow it into the near post and above Evan Marco Yanakis. Difficult skill. Hasn't had the greatest goal return this season, Mikael Platt, just 3. A couple of those have been penalties as well, so hasn't been as prolific as you might have thought with his CV coming down here, but former QPR junior has been very useful and done more than his fair share as a hold-up man, a striker in build-up with his back to goal. He's laid on an assist for Golevsky tonight. This helps this Hume City team function and the players behind him score prolifically. Isgrove with the ball on a string again. Carlson. Maricic. McFarlane. Confident with the ball coming out of defence. Fletcher McFarlane. Not a natural centre-back, but deputising there in the absence of Harry Ashcroft. Leach. Nice swing from Charlie Leach. It's pinched off him from behind. And Carlson finds Isgrove in space. A little shimmy inside. Maker keeping him at arm's length. Arrowed into the feet of Mikael Platt, and then Nathan Hancock came straight through him to win the ball. And that's shooting range right on the edge of the box. And a golden chance for Hume City to make it 3. Will it be the left foot of Abdallah or the right boot of Isgrove? Four in the wall for Port Melbourne. Mikael Platt trying to make a nuisance of himself as well and block the vision of the goalkeeper. Andrew Memorakis just going through his final checks. Seen Owen Stokes score from a similar range here for Port Melbourne against South. Abdallah or Isgrove? It's going to be Amir Abdallah off the post again for the 3rd time this evening. Hume City strike the woodwork. Amir Abdallah was inches away from another addition to his growing highlight reel. So close to the perfect free kick. Almost off the apex of post and crossbar. Ocheng. Nice shape on it, but it's an easy header away for Hancock. And O'Kane going to ground. Marcus wants the free kick taken from the appropriate spot. Going to be Amir Abdallah. Pick out a teammate this time. Maricic at the back post. Yanakis flying. It's off the crossbar again, but it wouldn't have counted. Offside flag was up against Tom Maricic. Just the wrong side of the last defender when the free kick was taken. Lockie Weir flying to win that header. Baker. Courtney Perkins. Now Leach. Mezzaruni going to ground. And Josh O'Kane ping for the foul. Stokes wants to take it quickly. Flicked on by Courtney Perkins. And Mark Latsis is through 1v1. Well, Michael Weir stood tall anyway. Held his ground. But the flag was up against Mark Latsis. This is too long for Lloyd Isgrove. Flicked on by Courtney Perkins again. Latsis. Into Courtney Perkins. Oh, unleashes the strike, but it's just not a good connection off his left peg. Abdallah.
Let's go.
Latsis. Stokes. It's overcooked for Owen Stokes, and Melbourne are really vulnerable now as Isgrove finds Amir Abdallah. Hancock in. Abdallah thought he was shoved to the turf there. Carlson in strongly, and now Port Melbourne think about the quick one. Maker's going to leave it for Edwards. Edwards. Perkins with Maricic on his back. A frustrating watch for the Port Melbourne bench so far. Marinos seems very agitated here in the technical area. How things are going. Throw-in taken to Mezzaruni. Isgrove raking past to find Mikael Platt. Trying to hold off Maker. Platt standing up Maker. And you could see Isgrove was the intended target, but just lacked a little bit of paper behind that pass. Away comes Peters for Port Melbourne. Going at Maricic. Manny Peters, great footwork, tees it up for Stokes. It was all too clever there. Mezzaruni in strongly. The loose ball falls straight to O'Kane, and he feeds Lloyd Isgrove. Ball to find Abdallah on the far side of the penalty area. Alex Baker standing up and laying the challenge. Hume City corner. A huge result for Hume if this holds. They've got an injury concern. Oh, it's Lloyd Isgrove of all the players going down. I think he's going to require treatment as well. They can ill afford to lose their star man, who I know was named on the bench last week, and he hasn't always started for Hume City. He's been in and out, always an impact player whenever he plays, but maybe there's some underlying injury issues there that are having to be managed. Hume City temporarily down to 10 as Amir Abdallah lines up this corner. Subs getting ready for Port Melbourne as well. A double change in the offing. A miss-hit corner from Abdallah. Carlson back out to Abdallah, whose cross is blocked. Leach. Off Carlson. Leach will swing at it again, and now Mikel Platt comes in to shield the ball. Forced wide. Back to Amir Abdallah. Platts. Oh, they want him in the box. That's where Amir Abdallah sends it. Golevsky was the only target. Didn't get a touch on that. Only enough to flick it well wide of the far post. Umut Bozdoğan has been summoned for Hume City. Meanwhile, in comes young Alec Bechvanovsky, who scored his first senior goal last week against Moreland City. Mark Latzis is going to come off as well, with Fraser Dunlop replacing him. So a like-for-like change at wing-back. And Andrew Mazzaruni has run his race for the evening. Bechvanovsky, famous surname in Victorian football. Father Sash with 205 top-flight goals in Victoria, the most prolific scorer in the post-war era in this state. He showed a glimpse of his quality against Moreland. Dunlop's offside. Howls of protest from the Port Melbourne players. He was level, but Golevsky to Weir. Early ball in from Lockie Weir. Dealt with by the Port back line. Stokes, who finds Courtney Perkins. Now Leach. The green pasture to operate in. It's a miscontrol from Manny Peters. Golevsky tries to go around Maker. It's a clear foul. Body check on Hume City's number 10. I have to say a conservative change in midfield with Bozdoğan a holding utility player. We've gone to a 4-3-3 now, it almost looks like, with Josh O'Kane and Oscar Carlson pushing a little higher up, or maybe O'Kane into the number 10 and Golevsky out to the flank where Isgrove was playing. A real shame to lose him from the contest so early, because he's been just so watchable, Lloyd Isgrove, all season, but tonight as well. Beautiful diving header, not his only contribution. He's been just mesmerising every time he gets the ball. You can see class that saw him capped for Wales at senior level, that saw him make his Premier League debut for Southampton. This is Carlson. Golevsky. Golevsky wants it on his right. It's blocked by Hancock. Weir hooks it across towards Mikael Platz. And then Amir Abdallah on the follow-up. And it's well saved by Marco Yanakis, who closed down the angle. Stokes. Lovely little back heel. And now Dunlop feeds it down the line, looking for Courtney Perkins. For a throw from Bosdowan, and there's 2 balls on the pitch. Stokes wants it early, and he didn't get it. Fraser Dunlop took a more risk-averse option off the throw. Just start rolling the dice here a bit, Port Melbourne, if they want something from this game. Dan Edwards. Chang gets his head on it at the cost of a corner. Short corner taken from Stokes to Leach. Charlie Leach again. Edwards onto the left. Clipped into the box now. No way past the towering 2-metre tall Tommy Maricic. High boot against Hancock. Not called. Oh, it's a late whistle, is it? The referee was just holding off for a second in case Hume City won it, because Port Melbourne was short in defence in transition. It was high foot against Hancock. Chang. McFarlane. Maricic waited long and thought long and hard before picking Carlson as his passing option. Golevsky to Abdallah. Chang goes to the deck.
Time. Take your time. Take your time. Set it up.
Screaming past the back of our shot. But it's Hume City who've been red hot tonight. And they add a third here off the set piece. It's Abdallah sizing up his options. You feel a third would certainly seal the game. Stood up to Tommy Maricic. Too much power behind the ball into the box. It was difficult to generate it himself. Edwards. It's a run on the outside. Chvanovsky. Challenges in there, and Hume City have conceded a free kick within shooting range as Charlie Leach hits the deck. And Owen Stokes is a specialist at this kind of range. Very gifted, the Irishman, in getting the ball up and down over the wall. Marakis will take the ball back, full 10 yards. Dan Edwards, a very capable option with the left peg as well. It's going to be Owen Stokes to curl it. And it's high well over the crossbar. And despite his reputation as a set-piece specialist, that was one to forget.
Hey, are you serious? Hey!
What Melbourne bench suggesting that Michael Weir should be booked for time wasting for playing ball boy. That'd be a bit harsh. Hancock. Bosduan. Hotchian.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
Zalewski's instincts, even though he's nominally playing on the left, is always to come inside. O'Kane's filling that space now. Michael Weir. Didn't quite measure that one. Dunlop. Starting to steal bases here, Fraser Dunlop. Eventually takes this throw. Here goes Manny Peters. Lovely drag back. And with Bosduan, Hume City youth player and fan favourite. For footy. Baker knocks it forward towards Peters. Cheng with time to control and volley away. Platt holding off Baker. Finding O'Kane. And Charlie Leach put enough pressure on to win it back for Port Melbourne. I mean, the flying football they displayed in the first half, and Lloyd Isgrove going off certainly doesn't help. Just feel as if Port Melbourne is starting to get a foothold. And Manny Peters, due to an off-the-ball incident, has earned the ire of the referee. Stokes. Abdallah stealing in behind on the blind side. Fraser Dunlop didn't see him coming. Ocheng. Michael Weir taking no chances. Amir Abdallah draws it down out of the night sky. I thought he was pulled back there by Maker. No whistle. Now Lockie Weir for Hume City. And they've had the edge in the head-to-head. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a defeat in their last 5 against Port Melbourne. Port did win their last encounter here at JL Murphy. Lovely touch off the chest from Nick Marinos. Of course, was a player of some repute here in Victoria. With a very prolific spell at Heidelberg. Abdallah onto Platts. Turn ball didn't quite find City's flying winger. Laid off by Peters. McFarlane went to grounds after the tussle with Peters. Now Dunlop sees his cross blocked. And it's going to be a Port Melbourne corner and a bit of sorting out to do for Andrew Memorakis. McFarlane in the referee's ear about that tussle.
Come on, Ed! Come on! Come on, mate!
A little theatrical from McFarlane against his former club. Owen Stokes over the corner. Back post, headed across goal by Hancock and Marco Yanakis. Rather, Michael Weir with the punch, I should say. Dan Edwards. Mikel Platt in the way. Maker. And now the flag's up, and this won't count. Port Melbourne were almost in there.
Well done, Ed! Keep going! Keep going!
There's Bechmanovsky running off the shoulder, just the wrong side. Collected late by Courtney Perkins. And Miller ticket is out straight away.
Get control of the game. Set it up! No chance of winning the ball. Amir! Set up!
So this game is a powder keg in the first half. Temper's starting to boil over in the second.
Put on the penalty spot, Amir. Keep control of the game. Good time.
Port Melbourne readying another change. Mira Abdallah drifts it high for Maricic. It's tamely headed across goal. Well, he's always an aerial threat. One of the tallest players in the competition, if not the tallest outfielder. One of the few players who can match with Harry Sawyer for aerial presence, as we saw last week against South Melbourne. And league leaders not having their usual joy of high balls into the box. Flicked on by Platts. Here goes Abdallah. Squares up Hancock. Abdallah! Oh, that's special! Amir Abdallah with another trademark curler from an even more improbable angle. In off the post. And Hume City have a 3-goal lead. He is such an electric talent. And he has delivered once again. Joining Lloyd Isgrove tonight. He's Hume City's top scorer for the season on 9 goals. He might be a front runner for the gold medal this season with his performances, especially early in the campaign. He was absolutely electric. The goals just keep coming for Amir Abdallah. He only seems to score spectacular goals. Just doesn't do tap-ins. Michael Weir with the contested claim at the front post. Is left a little short from Stokes. Third goal should wrap up the 3 points for Hume City on the road. Big win for them. Bosduan. Abdallah. Holding off Baker and then finding Josh O'Kane in the penalty area. Brought it down well off the chest, but Maker with a well-timed intervention for Port Melbourne. Mehmet Oysal preparing to come on for Hume City. Prolific for the under-23s this season. The goal scorer Abdallah to Bosduan. Hume City, well, after a period where they to struggle through and deal with the inevitable Sharks response after half-time. They seem to have their swagger well and truly back. It's been a thin few weeks for them. Just 2 wins in their last 5. A couple of losses and a draw in there. Stokes to Courtney Perkins. Port Melbourne corner. They're going to wait to make this sub. Not going to make it while they're defending a corner. The old coaching superstition still holds. Headed away by Maricic. Back to Stokes, another chance to find a teammate. Steady cuts back to Edwards. Change of angle now. Michael Weir came and then decided against it. To Dunlop. Chang hangs in the air. Silky first touch again from Abdallah. Edwards. Challenge from O'Kane, coming back, get a foot in. Edwards. Set towards Courtney Perkins. Stokes. And now Golevsky's down, hurts, and Melbourne electing to play on for the time being. It's going to be subs at the next stoppage. Hume City will put it out. And Oysal still waiting patiently to come on. Well, Golevsky's down and he's going to be the player coming off anyway, so regardless of the outcome of this physio's assessment, he will be replaced. And make him go off on the far side to minimise the delay. Long walk around the periphery of the field for Josh Golevsky. Maybe straight down the tunnel for treatment. Well, he was very good tonight, scored the game's second goal. Yeah, it is straight down the tunnel for Golevsky, so hope there's nothing serious wrong there. Right, that should be well and truly celebrated. Hume City might be totting up the damage if Golevsky and Isgrove are unable to participate next week, but that's a Monday problem. Tonight they're 3 goals to the good. Very much enjoying themselves. Marcus Aiello is going to come on for Port Melbourne. Fraser Dunlop's header falls to Platt. To Abdallah. Now Courtney Perkins, well, did the hard yards and didn't have a player making a run to support him. That ball's made its way all the way through to Ramir Abdallah here. Tries to lay it back. Good opening in truth. Find Mikael Platt. The goals flying in NPL Victoria today. Avondale, 5 goals to the good. 5-1 in fact it finished against Moreland City, with the visitors going down to 10 men on the hour mark. Fletcher Fulton grabbing a consolation goal in stoppage time, but Avondale flexing their muscle at the Reggio Calabria club. And earlier in the day, Green Gully 2-0 victors against Heidelberg. Yanakis likes to keep it on the deck. Double change incoming for Port Melbourne, and a single change for Hume City.
Where's the numbers?
Here comes Marcus Aiello, and that's going to be Amir Abdallah's last involvement in the game. Spectacular individual performance today. He has been best on for my money. Pinpoint assist for Lloyd Isgrove, a spectacular goal of his own to seal the win in the second half. All in an evening's work for Amir Abdallah. Just irresistible at the moment. Samuel Pisani has come on for Hume City. Marcus Aiello and Dane Milovanovic on for Port Melbourne.
What's the keeper?
Pulled by Baker. Courtney Perkins running after a lost cause there as Michael Weir clears the danger. Aiello out to Fraser Dunlop now. There's the fancy step overs, but didn't get anywhere with it. Pisani. Bosduan with his eyes up for the switch. Mehmet Oysel. And a cut inside onto his right. Oysel unleashes the strike. Flashes past the near post.
Set up now, set up!
Baker. Dunlop. Aiello. Lifted up, Marcus Aiello. The Hume City press. Hochieng. Down the line looking for Pisani. And just a little shove in the back of Alex Baker, and he won't get away with that.
Go back, Sammy, come on!
Yanakis trying to push the pace here. Minutes played. J.L. Murphy. It's been a comprehensive Hume City win. Barring one of the more incredible comebacks we've ever seen. Aiello. And strongly. Now Bechvanovsky. Oh, was that a handball? He's denying a goal-scoring opportunity. Big decision here for Andrew Memorakis. What colour's the card? He's going to consult with his assistant here, Andrew Memorakis. There's a potential sending off in the offing. So clear as day handball on Fletcher McFarlane. Yellow card. Oh, Hume City breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, contentious one there. Easily have been a darker shade. It's a tough decision for the officials in those circumstances. There was a covering defender present. It wasn't as if Courtney Perkins would have been away and clear, free as a bird, but Fletcher McFarlane did look like the last man, so find a way up. The important part is they have free kick in shooting range here. It's Stokes. It just whistles wide. Took a touch on the way through. Port Melbourne corner. Edwards into the near post and just headed over the goal. Dane Milovanovic was in there. Unclear who got the final touch. Was Milovanovic on the end of that one. Now the board is up 3 minutes of stoppage time to play at the end of this one. Good from Milovanovic. Carlson. McFarlane. Hochieng. Marcus Gonzalez, and now Courtney Perkins, and Bechvanovsky is racing through. He lays it off. And the follow-up is struck firmly by Atticus Gonzalez, but it's blocked. And there's an offside flag. Up against Courtney Perkins, I think. Port Melbourne really should have had one back there. Fraser Dunlop winning the ball high up the park. Courtney Perkins with a nice little no-look reverse. Mitch Fanovsky rolling it back for Fraser Dunlop, and then Atticus Gonzalez unleashed. And you can see there Courtney Perkins standing the wrong side as the shot comes in. Stokes, 2 for company. From Oysel, the best back pass. Lockie Weir gets back to his brother Michael between the sticks. McFarlane, Ochieng. That ball's going to run out on him. And Andrew Memorakis brings this one to a close. Despite a few late scares at the end, Hume City well and truly deserved winners here at JL Murphy Reserve. They dictated terms away from home this evening. Not the easiest place to come and get points. Against their nearest rivals in the table. It's 5th v 6th coming into this one. They pick up a priceless win. Perhaps more importantly, after a rough patch of form, they've got their swagger back. Now level on points with Heidelberg United after they lost against Green Gully today. So closing in on the top 4. Goals from Lloyd Isgrove, Josh Galevsky and Amir Abdallah. The third, an absolute worldie, cutting inside and finding the top corner, the inside of the post for Abdallah. Injury concerns to assess after the game with Lloyd Isgrove and Galevsky both forced off through injury. And Fletcher McFarlane perhaps fortunate to escape with just a yellow card for that handball, but had little bearing on the outcome of the game. And Hume City will celebrate. Thank you for joining us here on the NPL Victoria live stream. You can see there on the stats, 20 shots to 11. It was all Hume. They did it in style. The final score, Port Melbourne Sharks 0, Hume City 3.